So welcome to Mom's Computer Lacer's Wealth Tech class for retirees. If you're new here, I'm going to put up our agenda for a moment. We meet every month. This group has been on a cruise together, per se, since January. And because as we know, tech moves fast. Unlike the toaster on the kitchen counter, which looks the same and does the same thing day in, day out, year after year, you can just turn on your computer and go to the email and something's different. Something changed in the background, something updated. So that is what tech is. It's a living, breathing, evolving system. It's not static, it's dynamic. One of the benefits of our tech class is we have an 800 number, emails. If you're really friendly, we'll give you our cell phones. And you can contact us between classes. As your retiree benefits, thank you to Crystal and Betty and the hard work Lacers does, includes now some tech help. We are a local shop here in Los Angeles for a long time. We work all the time. And so you can call us if you have any issues when you get that weird pop-up on the screen, or you're concerned about something. Before you click, feel free to contact us, send us an email. You have some tech help. So you can't be thinking at 1 a.m, oh my goodness, what's going on? Trying to Google something, which often leads down a dangerous path. Just contact Mom's Computer. There's no charge for you. Just give us a call, and we look forward to helping you. I'm going to put up our agenda for today. And our agenda starts in one place. It doesn't always end exactly where we wanted, which is sort of good because it's living and breathing like you and I are. So, explained how it works. This class is also recorded. It's on the Lacer's Well YouTube page. We go through a lot of different things. Not recommended that you do it on your devices as we're explaining it. You can always go back to the video or contact us. But sometimes when you overclick things change. It's hard to go back. So we can just go and watch for now. We take questions for numbers first. We have a good question from Russ. How in the world do I organize all my photos? So if you look at your photos on your phone or your computer and they're just everywhere, how can you group them together? How can you do that automatically? How can you put the Tahoe family vacation 2019 in one place? How can you put the fender bender where you took pictures of the insurance and the damage in one place? There's a lot of products on the market, but just so you know, whether you're an Apple or Windows user, Android or iPhone, the photo applications in those devices have a lot of great organizational tools that come with your device. It's just there for you to learn them. So we'll talk about that. Fall smartphone battery checkup. The other day, something was happening. I was driving in one of those locations like in the Hollywood Hills and hard to find, and I had like 2% battery left, and the line through Google Maps was still winding and winding and winding, and I sweat the rest of my drive up there. For some reason, the car battery wasn't charging it. So how can you check your battery health on any given day? Or just notice if your phone is 3 years or older than that, still a fine phone, but how can you check the health of that inner battery, which we know we can't change? It's fall. We'll do our scam alert review. It is political and holiday season, which means tons of scammy emails, things that seem like you want to engage with them, things that might want to scare you, or causes that you want to participate in, holiday sales, holiday events. How do you tell the difference? There's going to be more now than ever, and as seniors, you are targeted. So it's a good idea for every piece of mail that comes in your email box or text, or voicemail for that matter, that you vet that the same way you look through the envelopes in the mailbox, which I find get less and less every week. We'll talk about AI. I've been using it a lot lately, and there are different tools that you can use, and we'll see how it's affecting you, but literally how you can use it now for free for make that tasks easier. If we have time, we'll talk about email update. If your email is getting too much spam for years and years and years, you can start another email address and just use that for your bills. You can start a new one. It could be vossbusiness@gmail.com. And in that, he only gets his LADWP bill, credit card bill, healthcare bill, all those kind of bills. That mailbox doesn't mingle with anything else personal or advertising. Welcome, Jeanette Allen. Welcome, Jeanette Allen. We'll talk about, I want to skip down to this one, home security cameras. You know, for $19.99, you can put a little security camera on the front coffee table in your house and leave it on. You can check the pets, you can check the place if you're not there. If you have people in your home that you trust, if you're looking after a senior, you can keep an eye on them. It is flu season, and it could be a a Nelly, but keep your devices clean. That thing you stick on your ear, keep them clean. We'll talk about easy ways and affordable ways to get that wiped down. We'll talk about some telemedicine if we have time. Who's ever experienced that this month? Any changes? Who's going to the doctor now online? Of course, we'll have our Tech Jeopardy for trivia and prizes. And we'll get to that in a moment. But we have some tough Halloween tech trivia. So hang around there. We're going to get started now. Who here is an Android phone user? Who uses an Android, a non-Apple device? I see Jeanette waving. Do we have, I see a few wavers over there. I see Wanda, I see Debbie. I see Dusty waving. Let's see, I see Crystal waving. So I see Robin Wilson. We got a few more. So look at these Android users. These are the best people. These are the people you want to go to the bar with, get some fried clams and French fries and have a Budweiser with. They're great. Android users, because we don't care if we drop the phone in a bucket of beer. We'll pull it out and use it, and it'll still be working. Now let's talk about our Apple users. Who's a proud iPhone owner? The best phone ever made, the original. Who uses an Apple device? So let's see. Russ uses an Apple. Voss is using an Apple. We have some. Mr. M. Chen is using an Apple. Look at those Apple people. You see these Apple people in Apple. There you go. There you go. A fancy Apple. So you get the blue check when she texts, you know that, hey, Carmen. But the point of this exercise is they both really do the same things. And they both come with photo applications. There's an application on your iPhone called Photos. There's an application on your Android called Photos. The application for Photos on your iPhone is managed by Apple and your iCloud account. On vice versa, on Android, it's by Google and your Google account. Now, in these apps, which we'll show you in a moment, matter of fact, let me get logged in over here. There are many, many tools. Probably the greatest tool is when you, at the end of the day, let me admit somebody, have 40 pictures on your phone, and they're just sit there in random order, or you took 4 of them, and then there's a picture of the floor of your car by mistake, and then there's 3 important pictures of friends at lunch, and then there's 2 of some data you want to copy. And you want to separate those and put those into albums. That's probably the biggest part, is separating events and putting them into albums. So who does that now? Who goes to their photos and can organize their photos?
Sometimes.
Okay, so we'll start with the Android phones. If you're an Android user and you have Google and you have the Photos app and you're using it, which is native to the phone, so it usually happens, that means you can go on a computer or a device and go to your Google account and go to your photos. So let me show you that. So I'm using an Android. I happen to be in Google in my account. Everybody see this?
Yes.
Great, thank you, Ms. Moore. And that little button there is called the waffle with all the dots. I like to call it the waffle. I'm going to click in the waffle. And then I'm going to go to photos. It could be buried down here. I have mine right here. Now this is exactly what I have on my phone. Let's see what I've taken pictures of lately. I was in Wisconsin. I was not far from you, Ms. Moore. I was in Wisconsin this past weekend. I just have pictures, just everything I've taken on my phone shows up right over here. Now, if I have these on my phone, I can go over here on the left and there's albums. I can view all my albums. These are different events that I've made. I can create an album. I can go create an album, select photos. I can go to the album and I can say, I want this one, I want my pachinko machine, and there's the football game in Wisconsin. That's the Wisconsin Capitol. There's my residence inn. I'm a big fan of the continental breakfast. And then my mom's 90th, a picture from my mom's 90th birthday party. Now I have an album, and I'm going to title this Wisconsin October 2024. Now I have an album.
I'm sorry, what was the last button that you pressed before you started typing in Wisconsin?
It's set over here, add a title on the top.
Okay, before that, You get to add a title.
You want how to add another photo?
After you click the last picture that you wanted, what was the next button that you tapped?
Right here it says add a title.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
I click on, no, it's okay. On the top, it'll allow me to name this particular album.
How did you get to the to creating an album? Where is what
I'm going
did
to start over again. Fair enough. Let's do it. No,
Yeah,
it's good.
please go slow.
If you're interested, this it's the greatest compliment, right? So this is for Android users that are using Google Photos. We'll get to Apple next. It's almost the same. It's like math, but it just looks different. So I'm going to Google, Jeanette and Ratna, and I'm going to go in Google. I'm signed into my account, the same account my phone is signed into. I click this thing called the waffle. That gives me the different Google apps. By the way, there's some good ones in there. This is Google Docs, which is like Microsoft Word, Google Sheets, which is like Excel. But the app I'm going to use from Google is Google Photos.
Photos, yeah.
Now I'm in my random photos, right? These are just random photos. That's my, look at that's my nephew and my niece. And I want to make an album. I want to go in all these random photos and I want to select an album. I want to make a specific album so I can get to it. On the left, do you see where it says albums that I'm highlighting?
Okay.
Oh, I don't have anything called album in my phone.
We're on the computer right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so this way you can do this easier on the computer.
I have another question before you go further, because you said this is the same link as on my phone, so you don't have to actually move it from your phone to your computer?
No, it's automatic. It's automatic. I'm logging into my Google account. So it's connected via cloud, which is a great thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And so everything, and I can pick and choose. So now I'm in albums. These are all my albums. Look, bathroom leak's a good one. That's a good idea. I had a bathroom leak. So, and I had to go deal with the insurance. So I took all the pictures of the things that I needed about the bathroom leak. And then I could share that whole album with someone. Holiday Dinner 2023. But here I'm going to go and make a new album. See where it says create album?
Okay.
And all this will be recorded. You can watch it. And now I have an album here. It says select photos. That's what one I'm going to choose. I want to select, I'm going to name my album first on the top. Right? I'll call it Wisconsin. Then I'm going to go to select photos. And I'll choose what I know is Wisconsin. I think that was a diner in Wisconsin. That's the capital. And that was the football game. I'll click done.
That was what I missed, the done.
Right, done, yeah. And now I have these albums. I can go back to my main page and now Wisconsin's in there. What makes this also fun is how many of us have come across that error? You want to send a video or a bunch of pictures and the email says too big to send.
Yes.
You know, that's a common error. So now in this Google album, I could put anything I want in there. I can make a big album with 10 videos, as much as I want. Then I can take Wisconsin and it could be very big. On the upper right, I never really understood the share button and why it has those, why it looks like that. It's not intuitive to me, but it must mean something.
From one person to two.
I'm going to click that share button. And now I could put Jeanette, let's say it, Jeanette Allen at lala.com.
Yeah,
then I could
no Google it then.
I could add, I could add anybody I want, I can add anybody, like Robin Wilson, whoever I want to send it to. I could share this album with many different people, right?
Can you put in a group name and have all 15 people go in at once?
If you have a group set up in Google Contacts, Google. This is good for Lacers. Yeah, this is actually good for Lacers on organizing events. Public events, religious events, contacts, a whole nother conversation. I could create a list and I can make a list in these contacts. And then when I go share that, I could say, send to the sisterhood list or retirees list or church.
Or the cruise.
Whatever, the cruise list, whatever it is. And so now you're sending every image all at once. I want to step back for a second and stop sharing. That, when completed, is also reflected on your phone. So then when you open the app on your phone, you can find that album. It goes back and forth. And it's nice. You
Priceless.
can do it on a tablet, and you can do it on a phone as well. It's smaller. You have to search for some of the things to click. But now, who's an Apple user? Who has a Apple computer, Apple stuff? So let's talk about how Apple, it's really the same thing, and it's just as good. That's how they get you. Let me show you Apple stuff here for you Apple users. So for you iPhone users, which, by the way, in deference to Apple, Apple iPhone is the best camera in the business. It's more powerful than your favorite movies you watched, growing up. The Apples, they just have the market on a beautiful, powerful camera at whatever level of iPhone you have. Now, if you're using the iCloud on your phone, like Brenda was mentioning, your account is connected on your computer, you will have something called the Photos app. It's on the very bottom here. I'm going to open my Photos app, a little more intuitive. In my Photos app, I have, let's go to all my library. There's just a bunch of random photos. I have some old Lacers photos there. Oh, that was my cat, Chompers. So I have a bunch of random photos. Oh, my nephew when he was a kid.
Beautiful.
Oh, you see my little nephew baby over there? That's my brother.
Really cute.
Oh, look at me. Oh, look at those pictures. Some of them I don't want to show. I was younger. It was embarrassing. But there he is, little Kyle. He's in college. That's why I went to Wisconsin. He's in his second year of college in Wisconsin. So anyway, I have a bunch of random photos over here. Many, just a bunch of different photos, different trips. Not all that many. And I want to make an album now because this is connected to my iPhone. I can see everything that's coming in. I have something called My Albums. Similar. I'm going to click plus. I'm going to create an album. There's many kinds of albums. Apple's clever. I'm going to call this album Cats. Oh, I have cats already. Food. I'll call this album, because I'm going to eat my cat. So there is my food. But let's go back to the library. This is where it gets fun with Apple. I can go here. I shouldn't have my cat in the food, but let's see. I have one here of, let's find some food, some good food. There's always got to be some food here somewhere over the rainbow. There's my mom eating some food. And I could drag that. I can find my albums where it says food and drag that over and put that in food. That food. I can find anything related to food that I would think that was going to want to be in my album. So on and so forth. I don't have too much food in here.
Elijah, what about if you want to load it all down to a stick from the computer or your cell phone?
You could definitely download that. But the concept is now that you don't need to do that anymore. So now let's go to my album. Let's put another picture. But that is oh my God. Are you ready, everybody?
Thanks.
Do you know who this is? A little blurry, but can you see who that is?
I can't. Oh,
That Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's Mary J. Blige and New Year's Eve, 2000, like early 2000s.
That's some hairstyle you wearing there, friend.
It was on an old phone, so the quality is not really good. I'm lucky I even got that shot. I mean, that was like when that's me and Mary J. Blige. I'll tell you the story of my great friendship with Mary J. Blige one day. But let's say over here, I have this picture of my mom and her grandson from back in the day. And I want to put that in this album. Now, Miss Moore, I have this album with a bunch of stuff I want to share, right? I want to send this to somebody. Like a stick that you could deliver to someone, but in this way you could just send them an email with something for them to click and they can have all these. In Apple, there's this share button, another one that's weird, a square with an arrow going up. I can understand why that's share, but to me, it's not super intuitive. I can click that and I could share via email per se. I can open that. It opens my email. And in there is going to be all the pictures in a link. And then I can send it to Miss Moore.
Well, you could have deleted your cat out of
I
food.
could have deleted, but what can I say? There's cat, mom eating food, and on the grandkid. So, and let me go on one more note before all this. In this organization of photos, who has the shoebox in the other room with all the actual photos of family stuff, or the old albums with that sticky paper, like the plastic sheet, the old gummy stuff that they used to use?
I
You
do.
know, one day soon it will rain, and you can take those, and instead of the old days of going to your printer and scanner and loading them in and then scanning and saving, you can literally make it on your table, make a nice black background, find something, and hold those in your phone and take a picture of them, a scan of them. Then
Oh, I've done that.
right, and then go to your computer. It could also be for documents, for that matter. You could have 20, handwritten important documents. You can take a picture of those and save those and make an album, and go back. Oh, Rhonda, please. How can I
Oh,
help you, Rhonda?
yesterday I had saw on TV where they were advertising at Amazon, a thing called Photo Keeper. It's a little
Mhm.
device, I guess you put on your phone and then you can save your photos. Do you think something like that is necessary or?
I don't, because your phone already has that capability. What I
Okay.
just showed you, everyone has right now if you have a smartphone.
Oh,
It's
okay.
there already.
I've
Okay.
done that when I visit my cousin and she has pictures up on the mantle or the table and I want a copy, so I take a picture. The only problem is the glass sometimes throws off a shadow.
Flares, right. That when it's behind glass. But yeah, though there are sticks and things. I'm also always concerned that you have a beautiful Apple computer or a Windows computer, and you're taking this stick that you're not really sure what's in there, and you're putting it in your computer, It's sort of like going over and drinking a glass of something you're not really, looks good, looks like iced tea. Says iced tea. So those are concerns I have from third-party companies that advertise. I think sometimes those advertisements run to work on our head and our claustrophobia and the amount of information that this thing we're looking at right now delivers a human being. Massive amounts of information. And most people, from going to people's homes, from fixing computers for 30 years, are organized. There's a place for things. And this is just too much, though. This is an avalanche of information. But I think the positive note is certainly for phones, for your contacts, your phone, your device already has a lot of that capability. Now let's talk about the pitfall. Not really pitfall. How do they get you? They were giving you all this free stuff, almost too
Yeah.
good, true, right? Like they are giving you a lot of intelligence. Eventually, if you take that advice and you get good at it, and you have albums, you're like, oh my God, you go for Christmas, you go over to the cousin's house and they have a box and you go, I'm going to do that for you. And you're like, digitizing all their photos of the family stuff. Eventually, your account on Google or Apple will say your storage is full. You've loaded 3,000, 5,000 photos and videos, and that's great and that's free. But now we got you. It's all here. We have it. I mean, you can always get it back. You haven't gotten rid of it, but now it's going to cost you 99 cents a month for more storage, or $1.99. And so, that is the other side of this. But again, there's no more losing of devices. Like, your computer could fall into the river, heaven forbid, that thumb drive, the phone, and everything is up there on Google. So that is the negative side. But in information now, that's how fast things move. I make an album, I put 20 things in there, and I send them to you. So Rhonda, yes, there's always products to explore, and I haven't explored all of them. In this particular one, I believe you already have the intelligence in your device and you've paid for it.
Okay, this may be a real stupid question, but
No such thing.
is Google, if I have photos on Google, are they on the iCloud?
Not a stupid question, great question. No, they're not. Think of Bloomingdale's and Macy's, right? Across the street, competing with each other. We're Christmas season, so we're going to get to that movie soon, A Miracle on 34th Street. They're completely different companies. All right. So if you have photos on Google, it's through your Google account, which would be kathyr@gmail.com, whatever that is, and your 1234 password. iCloud would be Kathy at something under iCloud and your password. So they're different universes, and those are easily mistaken. If you're somebody like me, I use an Android phone, and I have an Apple computer. Apple makes a beautiful computer. So I mix them. It's easy to confuse where the things are. But yes, those are as separate as two homes you own, or two different cars you have. Right.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you should have those passwords. You should explore those. That should be something to look. So what does AI stand for?
Artificial intelligence
Artificial intelligence.
out because it seems like AI is starting to take over a lot of stuff.
Oh, it is. It is. Let's show you how good it is right now. I can ask it any question. I can ask it to correct something. And I've been using that a lot lately. I've been asking it to making texts and letters. I had to send some formal applications out. I've been asking it to help me describe something. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, help me make this more professional to share with my colleagues.
Or help me report a doctor that was biased.
Help me, but I'm going to write, help me make this more professional I'm going to use about a doctor that was biased. So I can submit a complaint.
Yes.
Now I'm going to write what I want to. Here is what I wrote. It's that human. Here is what I wrote. This doctor and was. I'm going to get ugly because I wanted to clean it, and was foul. And what was that word you used, Miss Moore? This
Was biased.
So I'm putting these, blah. I know you would never talk like that, but I'm just putting some blah blah out there, and then I'm going to go. I asked AI to clean that up, to make that one, to put my blah blah out there, and just please write something that looks more professional, right? I talk one way, and now let's press and find the solution. And so it wrote you.
Wow.
Formal complaint regarding unprofessional conduct and bias. Dear so-and-so, I'm writing to formally express my concerns regarding my recent experience with Dr. So-and-so. During my appointment on October 1st, I felt uncomfortable due to what I perceived as bias and unprofessional behavior. Dr. So-and-so made me feel unwelcome and uneasy throughout the consultation. I believe I was not treated with the fairness and respect that all patients deserve. I'm also aware that others have had similar experiences with this doctor, which suggests a pattern of inappropriate conduct. I kindly request that you review this matter and take the necessary actions to ensure that all patients receive unbiased and respectful care in the future. Thank you for your attention to this issue. I look forward to hearing about what you're going to do, your name, so on and so forth.
I like that.
Thank
So
That's
I could
what I needed to report a doctor here. Thank
Right.
you. That'll work for me.
But the point is, I can just blather out the facts now, and just say, I went and the food was bad, the waiter was nice, but said there was a delay, the manager waited for, I can just get that all out of my head and pump it in here and ask to write it. And I can do this too. And I'm going to go, please write this more concisely. I always say please because I think this robot's going to come alive one day, and I want to be nice the whole time.
Mhm.
I don't. It's sort of a real. Okay, here
I
it
would
is.
use kindly. I don't deal with please unless it's
So
something
look,
that I need to please a person with. My word would be more so.
you could.
Can you
Um,
make your font a little bigger, please?
Sure.
Reading it.
So now it made it shorter. Just it shortened it.
Yes.
And of
I
course,
like-
you can always change something in there. You can, when you go to send this, you could change thank you. You can manually do that. So that's just a suggestion. And make it funnier. I know that sounds crazy, but let's see what it comes up with.
And also, Elijah, does AI keep what you put in there? Do they?
Oh, forever, and Ms. Moore, we will live forever because over here are all my previous searches, including the ones we've played with today.
So it'll stay there for me.
Unless I want to delete it, I can go and delete each one, but it'll stay there.
Okay.
So you can come back to it.
Well, I made a screenshot of it, but
So,
anyway,
yeah,
I
but the
just
point is,
want to know
this
if
one is
they
funnier.
maintain stuff. Thanks, Elijah.
Can you make the font a little bigger, please?
Sure. this is the version that it came up with, a shorter version.
Reaching out to.
You can open up your screen by just moving your hand, your fingers rather.
Oh, yeah.
I'll read it out. Let me read it. So this is the funnier version. Dear medical office, I'm reaching out to share my recent experience with Dr. So-and-so, which, to put it mildly, was more uncomfortable than a tight pair of shoes on a hot day. From the moment I walked in, it felt like I was being judged, and not in a helpful doctor kind of way. Instead of feeling cared for, I left feeling like I'd been part of a bad reality show. I've also heard from others that I'm not alone in this experience, which makes me think Dr. So-and-so could use a refresher on patient care, maybe even a sense of humor. I hope you'll take a look at this and help make the doctors a bit more welcoming, maybe even fun. Thank you for your time. The concept of this exercise was just, I asked AI to try to make it funnier. I mean, I just gave it a task. And I have found, I've been using that a lot. I've just been in an application season right now, and I've been using that. Now, I don't use the final product. I try to amend it. Brenda, you have your hand up.
Yes, I do. But it's a comment regarding AI. But first, I
Please.
want to say I like your I like that. I have not tried using any of that stuff. I'm uncomfortable right now with AI. So it's good to see some of the good features in it. Maybe I'll play around with it a little more. But a few weeks ago, I got an alert on an update from AI, but I was sitting in the den and watching television, and it came across like the emergency alert. It was a siren and everything. And also I have the flash on my phone for noticing a notice. And it was just a siren, and it kept saying this warning, warning. And I looked at it, and I got so nervous, and it was talking about an update. So I would not update. I was trying to get out of the phone, cut it off because I didn't understand. And yeah, but I'm gonna finish my thought here. What it was, I found out in the end. I ended up calling my daughter because I was so nervous about putting a virus on my phone. Anyway, it was still there every time I would turn my phone back on. That warning was there, even though it wasn't giving me the siren, but the warning was still there in blue. But it was regarding, apparently was going on because it's a difference in a regular update and a customized update. So that warning was there if I did, it's saying that I am not to do a customized update.
Sometimes those warnings come in if you use the browser on a phone, Safari on an Apple, or Chrome on an Android, and you hit a bad web page, like not knowing, or tabs are open. Because there's no AI updates on any phones right now. Like there's nothing, no button you would push. So it's good that whatever you do, the diligence you did, Brenda, and not just say yes, and to watch that.
I did a few times on AI. My phone was fairly new. I got the Samsung S23 a few months ago. And when I brought it to my daughter's attention, and hers is a later phone model, she always get the best thing. And she said, Mom, I just did an update and I didn't have that problem.
Yeah, it sounds like a bug. Like a bug is just a bad web page that you can go to, Brenda. And it can happen. You could just be looking anywhere, going to a map. It's so easy. But those pop-ups usually mean something to be deleted or erased, usually from the history on the browser on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, and something to look at. We have a good question in here from Sheila Marchbanks. Does one need to subscribe to ChatGPT and any requirements? No, there's no requirement. You just need a computer, or you can do it on your phone. They even make an app. But you can get a paid service, and I've seen it work. So we do disability tech, and it's sort of beautiful. So I have a Hollywood, a lot of artists. This person was a scenic. They were an artist for years at the studios. They did the backgrounds, for all the sets, like 20 years, 25 years at Fox. Is retired now, has Parkinson's, still has an artist at heart. Was artist, trained artist, and then that was their career. Can't do this anymore. So there's a paid version of ChatGPT, and I could sit back like Picasso with my cigar, or my pipe, and then paint. I could say, I'm not a painter, so I want a 3x8 stretched polymer 16 canvas with bristle number 7. I want to use, what's that stuff they put on it? The Jello. There's something they paint. You can describe the canvas, and then you can start painting. I want a light brush stroke from a number 4 coarse brush 16. I want to use a light marine and blue yellow, and I want to add a mustard number 7 from Pantone. Open the pan. Yeah, this is number 16. Degrade the 16 by a 0.5%. Right. Now I want in the corner, and they could paint a landscape with their voice. So I'm telling the screen what to do as I'm painting it. As well, they can talk to ChatGPT and say, I hear a song in my head. It starts, it goes, I hear a drum go, bop, 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 bop. Then I hear an oboe go, boom, 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 boom. Then I hear a flute do a melody. I'm not going to, I'm sure 4 people have left already when I did that. But point is, I could make that song that's in my head and then say, no, I want her to come back. And it'll play the song. I want an oboe to play this part. I want a flute to play that part. I want a rock guitar on that part, so on and so forth. And you can talk it through. So imagine the tools that could use besides just making a painting, right? Like imagine what that could do. So the paid version has those features. The unpaid one, which I haven't paid for it yet. I'm not afraid to. I don't think it's a scam, but I haven't gone there just yet. But it is sort of amazing. How is that going to work in medicine? I work with some doctors, and they said it's like if you put AI in there and you have the patient's complete condition, and then you have a history of that type of condition. Let's just take you have the patient, and then you have the patient's condition, and you can match their genome, their from the Philippines or 61 years old from this area, from that one city. They can isolate so good, like who we are and what affects us as we roll through, and then get a diagnosis of what could be a simple thing. Oh yeah, you need some cortisone. It's an itch on your elbow, right? Like through all that information, they could say you're from Eastern. Like it's just, I've seen that how it moves that data. So your diagnosis is going to become AI based, more so. And that means when you call in as well. And that means when you put that information there, of course, is the scary side of it. Well, yeah. But I tend to just go with it. I think I'm 60, 25 more years. So I can hustle them that long. But yeah, I think that's the best part of AI and working for that handicap tech. But it also means you can go in now, if you have let's say you have a leak under your faucet, who's gone and fixed the leak under their faucet, gone to Home Depot, everybody says it's the 3/4 nozzle. You're just going to unscrew one side and the little tube. How hard can it be? Everyone does it. You get home and it doesn't fit. Right? It doesn't fit. Like it's, oh my God, the screws are too big. I got to go back. Now you're back at Home Depot, right? You're sweating. You got to return the line. Like that's been a big part of my life is going to back, returning the wrong part to Home Depot. Now imagine you had the ChatGPT app on your phone and you took a video of it and you said, what exactly do I need? And then it can read what you need by the picture and then locate the store. Yeah, there's one at the Home Depot in Pico, and aisle 7, row number 6, push this button and order it now, and we can put it on your credit card. Imagine stuff like that, like little problems like that. I want to try it. Who knows the crack in the car between your seat and the console where stuff falls in between? To me, that crack in the seat, my phone falls in there in mid-drive sometimes. So I would like to take ChatGPT and say, how can I remedy this crack in the seat that has enough food in there to take care of me through the next quarantine? I know there's a half a Cliff Bar in there. I think about it at night sometimes when I'm hungry. But imagine it came up with a solution or it invented something, right? Take it one step further. What if it invented it and you had a 3D printer upstairs in your house? And then it printed out the solution and it came out like a rubber piece of thing that you stick in there. Anyway, I'm sort of going off the ranch, but that's sort of the concept. Why not put your phone on the dashboard? I'm a king of the flying coffee cup off the dashboard, Miss Moore. I'm traumatized from the coffee cup coming up the dashboard. No, I should put it in one of those little things. But I think that's sort of it. I want to talk about something else.
Elijah, before you move on, is AI also like a robot?
It's not a physical robot, but I guess the intelligence in there one day could control whatever you call a robot. It could be a machine that does this. Obviously, at the Ford Motor Plant, AI is controlling things now, and there's robots where the hands move and everything. But I'm sure all those Ray Bradbury books we read, who remembers good old Ray Bradbury? It was from Los Angeles, Ray Bradbury. His house is still there. It's in not Mar Vista. Where is? Oh my God, I got a spam call. I'm gonna see what this is. Sit tight, everybody. Hello, may I help you? Hello, may I help you? No, it says potential spam. I've been trying for a live one. Yeah, Ray Bradbury's house is in Cheviot Hills. If anybody remembers Cheviot Hills, and they were going to tear it
Yeah.
down and put like a new house, but
Yep,
it was,
yeah.
it's a fan. He wrote all his big books over there. I want to talk about your homes. Holiday time is coming. Who's going to travel? Maybe, go back to the family in Chicago for the weekend. Who has security in their home? Who has a little security camera in their home?
I do.
Kathy has one. And so, yeah, great. So, it's the reason I bring it up is just the easiest thing in the world. Now, I had a little security camera in my house because I had an old cat, I had an elderly cat, and I wanted to watch the cat when I was gone all day long. So I had eyes on the cat through the phone. It's as simple as $19.99. So I went to Amazon, I bought one for $19.99. I just wasn't, it was for me, it felt like a vanity project. I'm gonna look at my elderly. How far has the universe come? Los Angeles' streets are filled with people that need God's blessings, and I'm getting a camera to watch my cat, that he gets filtered water out of his charcoal infused fountain, heaven forbid his paws should touch anything but natural feline pine. I bought this little camera, and it was the easiest thing in the world to set up. It was $19.99. There's a free app you get on your phone, Android or Apple. You follow the instructions, you connect it, and I have a little camera that looks at my place. But then we got to thinking, I got a 91-year-old mom who is 91 and mentally sharp as a whistle. It's 1975 in her mind, but her eyes are going. She can't see that well. She still lives at home. She's a smoker. We can't move her. She likes to wake up in the morning, watch the news, and have a cup of coffee. We take that away. That's the end of it. So we just have to pay. We just have to pay because she's happy. She's sitting there having a cup of coffee, watching MSNBC at volume decibel number 912. But nevertheless, she's there. There's care. So we moved from a house to a 1-bedroom little condo there in the valley. And so we have cameras. So there's a camera in the bedroom, and my mom knows, and it's aimed sort of at the bed and the door. We have one in the living room, which spans the whole living room and sort of watches the couch area, the kitchen, and one that shows the hallway to the bathroom. We haven't put one in the bathroom per se, but there's one in the hallway. And that was a $65 project. And then my brothers and I, we share that on our phones. So we can go anytime and check how she's doing. And at one point she did fall. And we did catch it on the phone, and we were able to get help there immediately from the facility. But I mean, the building, it's not a care facility. So that thing became indispensable. And I just want you to know how easy it is. Let's go shopping. Let's do some pre-holiday shopping. By the way, who needs some new equipment? Even if you're not ready, who needs some new equipment in the back of their mind? It's gnawing at them. One of the things that, I'm not saying you need it today, but is that on phones, if they're 3 years or older, the batteries get bad. You can't help it. The batteries fade. You can't open them up and put some Ever-Readies in there. Windows and computers get older. So this is a good time of year to shop. There's 2 times, by the way, as a famous computer hunter. One is Cyber Monday, which comes up sometime around that part of the holidays. They do have good deals. But if that makes you feel rushed and like you're in a busy, crowded store, the first 2 weeks of January are delicious for phones, for phone cases, for a laptop, a tablet, inexpensive items. Those first 2 weeks of January are a bargain hunter's delight. You can even go to Best Buy and get an out of the box. Jeanette needs a replacement for her Surface Pro 3. Yeah, Cyber Monday, beginning of the year, that would be time to do it. Oh yes, Russ is bringing up, there was a thing on Shark Tank called the drop stop that goes in the crack in between the seats. I've got to get that. Good for you, Russ. I've got to get that. To put in my $50,000 car, I'm going to have to buy. I have to buy a drop stop, so I make sure my stale trail mix doesn't fall. The sunflower seed in there from the day after I buy it. 12 years later, when I pay it off, there's going to be like growing little forests of sunflowers. But yeah, I got to hit one of those. Those sales are good. But let me show you the camera. Could be for anyone. Oh, let me close out of here. Let me minimize this, and let me go and show you how inexpensive it's become.
So you need more than one camera in the house?
Really don't.
No?
In my place, which is not big, 900 square feet, I just aim it at one area, right? Like by the door, and sort of shoots the whole place. I could get 2 cameras if I wanted, but I just did one. Let's go to Amazon. Amazon's a good place. You can go to Best Buy. And there's a Blink indoor camera. And by the way, these have a speaker. You can hear on them. So I can listen to the room. I used to call my cat and call him. And once in a while he would come. It also has a light on it. So here's one. It is prices went down. That's nice to see. It's a $20 camera. Looks like that, sits on your shelf, plugs into the wall. Don't get fancy, don't mount it on the wall. Just find a place to hang it up. You take that camera, you get a little app, the Blink app, and you can connect it. And let's see, there's a picture of the app. Doesn't have a picture of does it? Let's see. No. You'll get a little app for it, and you'll see that one camera, whatever view you're looking at of the room. And you can add views. Oh, there you go. You can see the phone. Let me make that a little bigger. You can see there's somebody's phone, and they're looking at just, I guess, what marketed me for a cat is a pretty good marketing tool, because that looks like a senior dog to me. And so, I lost the picture. That's the concept over there. That's the concept. I want to get back to something else before we get to tech trivia. It's 3:23. Crystal and Betty said they could stay here with us till 2 in the morning, but then they got a call to get back to work. Let's talk about the 3 rules of smartphones. 1, commandment number 1. Let's start with commandment number 3, the password. Make sure that initial password is written down and somewhere safe and maybe shared. That 4796. I'm sorry, you can forget that password. You can be indisposed. Somebody else should have that password. You can't use the phone without it. You just can't. I've forgotten passwords. I mean, how many people still go and going to the same house with their keys for 30 years and still fumble between 6 keys, between which is the right one? I still go to my door and it's like, okay, it's one of these, but was it there? 30 years later, it hasn't changed order.
I have my keys color coded.
Miss Moore always shows up in class.
Well, I do. My
keys are color
I have
coded.
colors to my keys because I have so many locks in my house.
I get it. I mean, I'm jealous. You're organized. That's why you're retired, and I'm gonna have some stale trail mix for lunch from in between my seat. But getting back to rule number 2, don't leave your house without the battery being above 50%. Be worried about that. Look at your phone now before you leave. You might be jumping in the car or not. Get a full charge. When you go to bed at night, you can charge it and leave it charged. You can't hurt the phone by leaving it charging all the time.
Yes.
It's not like the old days, with the batteries you put in the thing and then pull them out again. Those days were over. The number 1 thing is damage. Change the case. If you have an old plastic case, if the case that's keeping it on there, those plastics are carboners. So I'm a chemistry major. And so those carboners dry up, plastic dries up, they become less buoyant, the nature of it. Get another $7.99 case on Amazon, on downtown, on Olvera Street. Get another case. Keep that case fresh. Now let's get to some tech trivia. Is everybody to win some prizes? I've got some Halloween tech trivia. Let's get Chen back in here. And before we do that, any other questions for the day?
Yes, I have one. Elijah, can you do the same thing on an iPad? I'm not certain if it's iPad or iPod. Like you can go and look and see what's in our computers. Can you do the same thing on an iPad?
I have magic technology. I can get on, it used to be just computers. I can get on your iPad and I might turn on your iPad and your phone right now. I know what you're ordering for lunch.
Well, I do have an Amazon one and don't know how to work it. So
Well,
that's why I
that's
was
a Kindle.
asking.
That's called the Kindle. That's called an Amazon Fire. That's called an Amazon Fire, that one.
But you can see what's in it.
Not on the Amazon Fire, on a tablet, iPad.
Okay.
But we can have a screen share and you can hold it to the camera, like on a Zoom. We can have our own session. All right,
Okay. I
let's get
definitely
ready.
don't know how to use it.
Dusty, let's keep track. These are going to be for, and Miss Moore, I know I owe you t-shirts. My box of t-shirts just came in. It took a long time. I got 500 t-shirts. But these are going to be for some gift cards. It is holiday season. I was in Wisconsin. It got a little cold in this more, so maybe you might need a Starbucks gift card for peppermint latte or a pumpkin spice latte. So let's go to our tech questions. Everybody, how this works is put your answers in the chat. We'll have a stop. We ask you not to Google. If you Google, you'll have 3 points off your retirement. You have to go back to work next Wednesday, and you don't get the parking spot or the corner office anymore. You're back in the cubicle. We will know if you cheat on Google. So try your best. And we always have winners, but I try to go hard today because you're all too good. And by the way, while I have you, thank you for coming to Tech Class. You are the heart of this program that Glaciers Well puts together. It's a premier program in the United States. I happen to know other municipalities are beginning to copy it around the country, which is wonderful that other people are getting held. But you were the first, Los Angeles, and it's forward thinking and the hard work of people within Glaciers to get the funding to do the work, and that you show up and make it valid as everything. So Mom's Computers Tech Shop owes you. We'll be open all night, ready for your call. But until then, let's see if we can stump you a little bit. We all remember the great Charlie Brown Christmas special. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. It's the original one. Wah, 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 wah. What year did you see that on your black and white TV? Your Philco with the antenna in the back. Everybody was sitting around. What year was It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, probably the most famous one, aired on national TV? All right, let's put that in the chat. All right, answers in. Bidding has been closed. Are you ready? Let's go way back. It was 1966. Stay healthy. Probably the most important thing out of it is, and enjoy this retirement of yours. I mean,
All right, thank
know us.
you.